the Jeep in the garage and dead battery. So we gotta stop somewhere, maybe down near Goldsboro, and get a new battery. We're down here in Goldsboro, and we're having a hell of a morning. About got in an accident. Somebody tried to loop around me as I was pulling in, so we avoided that. Battery was the issue back at the house. So come this morning, I mean, I've been driving the Jeep around town just to make sure the Jeep's good to go for this trip, and checked all the fluids last night. Noticed the air pressure on the tires down to 22 psi, so we stopped and put 30 psi in all the way around. And went to crank it this morning in the garage. The battery was dead. We rode down here to Goldsboro. I went ahead and got a much better battery, like a 700 cold cranking amps rather than a 550 cold cranking amp. Funny story, last year was our first trip out here to Portsmouth Island, and it was low tide, about 7:30, so we parked kind of down. And to back up a second, there had been a king tide came in from Friday to Tuesday, and we got over on the island on Tuesday. So there wasn't any pockets or holes in the bank because the king tide had washed over about 2/3 of Portsmouth Island. For those of you who don't know, so Portsmouth Island is located southwest of Ocracoke, and it is northeast of Morehead City. You've got two islands there. The lower island's called Davis Island, and that is also known as South Core Banks. And then the upper island is North Core Island, also known as Portsmouth Island. And Portsmouth Island used to have about 700 people on it until 1971. The last two sisters moved out. They couldn't hold out any longer. It is just too rough of conditions to live over there at Portsmouth Island. And we experienced some of that last year. Basically washed clean with the big storm that came in. So we found a little break in the sandbar, and at 7 o'clock we parked kind of down at low tide, and of course it was a king tide, low tide going out as well. So about 9 o'clock came around, and it had been windy, about 15 miles an hour, so we were using the Jeep. We had this door open and to block the wind. We have a little camp stove. We were cooking dinner inside. Had the light on the whole time. Well, I had the bare basics battery for this Jeep, and went to restart it when the tide came in about 9:30, and realized that the Jeep battery was dead. I didn't have a jump box with me or an extra battery or anything like that. So the nearest light I could see was somebody's red headlamp about 1.5 miles south of us. So I got to walking, and about 25 minutes later, got down there, and the guy was drunk, like 3 sheets to the wind drunk. And I was like, "Hey man, can you come down the beach and jump me off? The tide's gonna come in and wash away my Jeep." And he's like, "If you don't mind me drunk driving." And I was like, I don't care what you do. Like, we gotta jump the Jeep off. So he came down. Everybody out on the island is willing to help each other. And so he came down and jumped us off. We pulled up, let the alternator charge up the battery, and it was fine the rest of the time. So we're maybe 2.5, 3 hours away, just gassed up. Brought an extra gas tank with me this year. So last year, went over, had about 3/4 of a tank, and realized that was not enough. We kind of got down to fumes by the time we were done driving up and down the beach. We brought 2 extra gallons. That's gimme gallons. That'll get us back to the ferry in case we're on the north end. Got old Mater.
Just finally laid down for the first time the whole trip.
And we got Cori behind the camera. Say hello, Cori.
Hello, Cori.
Oh, come on. Say good morning.
Good morning.
What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part about this trip so far?
You really want the answers to that?
Oh yeah.
My favorite part of this trip so far has been the past 5 minutes where we haven't been bickering.
And why were we bickering?
Because someone who shall not be named, it was not me,
It's Mater. good to go. Got my coffee now. Got a little breakfast in my belly. Everything's good. It's gonna be a good day. We're gonna get down here to Newbern, stop in, get about 20 pounds of bait. Last year we got 10 pounds of bait and it just wasn't enough. We caught 4 slot limit drum last year, and hoping I would like to catch a citation fish, which is 40 inches or more. These last couple of weeks they've been catching. One guy caught 5 citation fish in one night. Another guy caught a 44 and a 49-inch citation fish, but the 44 was only 27 pounds. The 49-incher was also 49 pounds. I'd love to catch a 49-pound fish. Never done that out of the surf before. Red drum is what we're after. They're running this time of year up and down the North Carolina coast.
When the skeeters aren't biting. But the fish are biting and the skeeters aren't.
There you go. So we just stopped in here at B&J Seafood. It's like a bait shop, and we picked up 15 pounds of mullet as bait for the next 5 days.
It's Jefferson presence. I know it's 200, 250. I would say it was a little, might have been a smaller one. It's been there a while, you know it, Mark? Big tree. Real big. About a 10-foot gator. It's been, we saw him the other day.
White horse and carrots, nearly 3 carrots. Went to Jerry, I went to the bar.
work because you did. I said, was your nickname Grunt Work?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you did a bunch of the grunt work to get that place up to 50 employees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in sales and engineering.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
That's great.
It's only corporate world took over, and then it was like, nah, getting out of here.
Yeah. I think that's
When did you get out? I'm gonna go take a nap.
all right, brother.
So, funny story. Last year, we were on our way over here on the ferry, and Ashby had been telling me about this island, Portsmouth Island, deserted island. There's nothing over there. You have to take what you are going to use. There's nothing. There's no stores. Blah blah blah. Good fishing. So I plan the best I can. We get here. We get on the ferry, just like we are right now. Probably about this time in the trip. I said, so how many times have you been over here? And he said,
None. Never been over. This is the first time over.
I'm like, the way he was talking about it, I thought he'd been over here dozens of times. I'm like, wait a minute. So we're going to this island. This literally, there's no gas stations. There's no bathrooms. Sometimes they have bathrooms. Sometimes there's no stores. There's no ice. There's no food. There's no medicine. There's nothing over here. We're going over here, and all we have is what you trusted me to pack in the back of this Jeep. And I'm trusting you, thinking you know what you're doing. So this is our
we're
second
just winging
second round.
it, you know. Safety third.
Safety third. So this is our second trip, and this time I know a lot more about what we actually need and what we don't. So hopefully this one will go a little
Listen,
bit better.
you got me. What more could you need?
Oh my God! Somebody please come get him.
You're stuck on an island with me for 5 days.
Jeez, right? Oh me, pray for me, please.
So for those of you who don't know about Portsmouth Island, it's about 20 miles long. You come over, and the ferry comes out of Morris Marina, and it puts you on at about mile marker 2 or something like that. And the bathhouses are reopened this year, 2022. So otherwise, there's not a thing on the island.
There's like a lot of abandoned cabins and cottages.
It used to be a town over here, about 700 people.
They were the cabins and the cottages, they were damaged in a storm a couple years back, and they will be reopened, but the structures are still there.
The old town's still there. You take, but pretty much everybody's coming over here. It's November 2nd today. Everybody's coming over here because of red drum fishing, or really it's just surf fishing. But we're tent camping. A lot of people have like a camper in the back of the truck. A couple guys I work with coming down later in the week on Friday. Today's Wednesday. But pretty much everybody's out here just to use like I use a 2-rig, and we also use call it a drum rig, but it's just got a weight on it with a slider above a swivel and like a 1-foot leader. Big old chunk of chunk bait. We're looking for a break in the sandbar, either by looking at it or looking at the previous tide. It's easiest to see on low tide. And so we're going to set up our campsite, the first one we find, and then just fish right out front of camp. If we don't do good this evening, then we'll drive up and find other places tomorrow. But pretty much everybody over here is just here to have a good time and fish this time of year. And
I shell.
there's all kinds of
shelling.
It got to a point last year with shelling that if it wasn't perfect, she was putting it back, and she brought back 3-gallon bags of perfect shells. There's gonna be some hooting and hollering.
I already found this shark's eye before I think it's a shark's eye before we even got on the ferry. So
Yeah. And ferry ride's about maybe 45 minutes to an hour, something like that, and help you get on and help you get off, and we're just gonna be carrying on and having a good old time over here for the next 5 days.
he's gonna be hooting, I'm gonna be hollering.
right over there is the ferry landing at PI. Right there.
I like how the guy on there over there is videoing us while we're videoing.
Yeah. Alright, tell me about it.
I don't want to be on the camera.
Oh, you're gonna be on the camera.
No, I don't want
You're gonna be part of this YouTube channel.
Baby, I was wanting you to video the cabins. I wasn't trying to be like, oh hi, look at me, I'm super hot.
Awesome, thank you, brother.
We have arrived. We are on the island.
Yeah, we're on
Off the ferry.
We are on island time, baby.
When you first get off the ferry, there's all these cabins that were damaged a couple years ago in storms. They are uninhabitable, and as far as I am aware, are not going to be rebuilt or refurbished. They're condemned essentially. There's a couple of yurts here. Supposedly the bathhouse is this way too, but I've not seen it. Have you?
Yeah.
So, but supposedly it's up here. That and the ranger station. Alrighty. So one thing that we learned last time is that many, many years ago, there were vehicles that were abandoned on the island, and during the right conditions, they are sticking up out of the sand.
Which way, babe? Right or left?
So right is gonna be south, and supposedly that's not. It's a lot of barrenness that way. I mean, you can head that direction if you want to start there, but there's more dune coverage north.
I think we're going north.
Yeah, I mean, I remember driving all the way south, and it was interesting to look at, but it wasn't.
Wasn't a lot going on.
Yeah. So anyway, there's like abandoned vehicles in the sand during the right conditions where you can see the entire vehicle and lots of other debris. And then, see like that little stack of wood right there? That is denoting that there is something under the sand there. So it's like if you look and watch, you'll see markers where people have put markers in the sand telling other people that there is something to watch out for in the sand underneath. So here's some more of those damaged cabins. Beautiful Portsmouth Island. Nothing here. Sand and surf. So Ashby said last time we just found a good spot in the dunes and set up camp. But Ashby said that this time he wants to find what he believes to be a good fishing spot and then fish it first. What's that? Looks like there's some debris over there.
Debris.
It looks like an abandoned, jacked up camp that never didn't survive.
So guys, we're just having a nice romantic meal of Cheez-Its and sandwiches. Got the ocean here and tent here. So the reason we chose this spot, excuse me. So the reason we chose this spot is we're kind of secluded between two dunes. Tomorrow we're supposed to get 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, and so I wanted us to be protected by the dunes. The dunes are about 10 foot tall on either side of us. Even though our tent here is rated to, I think, 30 mile an hour winds, and we did that last year. We had 30 and 40 mile an hour gusts. So anyways, we just wanted to be protected out of the wind. Just kind of got set up back here. Got a nice dinner view. There's the ocean.
I was going to cook tonight, but I ran out of steam. I needed.
We're both kind of tired. We got up 4:30 this morning.
I only slept 2 hours last night.
I stopped and fished on the way in. So we're at mile marker 9, which is 9 miles down the island, about halfway. And the current is just ripping left to right out here. We got a 6-ounce weight on. It just laughed at a 6-ounce weight, so I have to trade over to 8-ounce weights. And took my cut bait off of all 3 hooks twice. Fished for about 30 minutes in a little hole I saw, but we didn't have any luck. And it's about high tide now, so we decided to just let it go out. And we're gonna get our camp set up here. Suppose, like I said, rain tomorrow, so kind of just getting prepped. We may end up having to spend the whole day in the rain in the tent.
And we discovered in our little spot here, there's no internet service. Sometimes the internet is kind of spotty, so some areas have decent internet and some don't, and we're in one of the don'ts. So this just should be fun all day tomorrow in the tent with nothing to do but sleep and stare at each other.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I knew it. I knew he was going to do that.
Making some sausage and eggs, percolating coffee. So good morning, everybody. It is the Thursday, first day out here on the island, and it was quite windy overnight.
Making breakfast. Here, I'm going to show everybody how we do eggs around here. So I learned this trick and it served us well. So we scramble them at home. And go ahead, I put whipping cream or sometimes half and half in my eggs. So scramble them up really well. Put the whipping cream or half and half or milk, whatever, or none if you do that. And mix it all up into an empty water bottle and freeze it. And then you put it in the cooler. And at first it serves obviously as more ice, but then as it melts, you have liquid eggs and they're easy to fry up. So do that. We also put all the food in the cooler in individual Ziploc bags to protect it further from getting water in it. So
About to make some cheesy eggs, Thomas English muffins, sausage, and some percolated coffee.
Coffee.
And so it's kind of ominous back over here. There's not a soul in sight. We've seen 2 trucks pass by this morning. Y'all, this is how we do breakfast right here. Sausage. I made some very ugly eggs with cheese because they burned a little bit.
I'm doing the eggs now.
But y'all, this is literally sun's just poking through. Old Mater's back here begging for scraps. Still in there? Yep, come on. Come on with him. Got a baby flounder. Yep, just grab right there. Heck yeah. All right. Here, trade me out. You'll hold it. You want to kiss him?
I'm good, thanks. I only kiss you and our dog and my kids.